No beat. It don't matter about a beat. Here we are.
Yes.
JT.
Yes, sir. Just talking. First episode. Y'all welcome.
Welcome.
This is our first episode about just us talking about life.
In general.
Right.
So tell me, I contacted you out of the blue with this idea. Right. Tell me what the first thing that went through your mind when I told you what I wanted to do here.
Well, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was like, okay, it sounded different to me because it's like, you know, you don't usually see a show where people talk about different ranges of topics and you don't really know each other.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like more so like, you know, we know each other, but we don't really know each other.
So we should get the background out of that.
Right.
Out of the way. Hold on for just a second. I have beer.
All right. Cool.
I got two kinds.
We
got a Yuengling.
Let me get a Modelo.
And we got a Modelo Negra.
All right, cool.
So there you are with that.
Kind of perfect.
And check it out. We got Mexico beer and a Mexico bottle opener.
Okay.
Because we got to stay, matchy.
Yeah, but the initial when you first hit me, and I was like, because I do another podcast. I do a hip hop podcast, and I'm also like a producer, musician, and so our backgrounds is different because Jason's a director. So it's more so like we coming from two different backgrounds meshing into one. So
yeah,
that's why
music
I thought it was
commonality.
Cool.
You're coming in from the production side, audio,
right,
and I'm coming from the production side, video. But what's the podcast, by the way?
36 Chambers, and it's like based off the Wu-Tang.
Okay.
It's called 36 Chambers. And it's just me, Ray Mawal, and he's a great host. And he brought me on because it was his idea. And I do music, so we kind of like just trying to put a spotlight on Southern music and stuff like that. And just any producers that need like just the extra little push, that's what we're there for, to give them that extra little push.
Well, that's cool. All right. But you produce your own stuff too.
But I produce my own music. I've networked with a lot of local artists and international artists. I just made a video today that I put on YouTube called Weedman, and it's me and a Jamaican artist that's still there, and we made a track digitally. You get what I'm saying? So I put that together, I produced that, and I've also done things with people in London, maybe for a person in London, and I'm based out of South Carolina, because I'm local.
Yep.
So I just follow my passion, really.
Well, that's cool. So we've got a commonality there, but the cool thing about this opportunity for this particular show was that I met you through your cousin,
right,
who was my ex-neighbor because
right.
he moved, he upgraded, and but we have had a total of probably 3 full conversations. And that's it.
And it hasn't been a whole lot.
No, not at all. And so we had on our third conversation, just like 2 weeks ago, I was like, that was a really good
conversation.
It was a unique conversation between two people who didn't know each other. You have these how's the weather conversations.
Right.
You meet at the coffee shop.
I think we went from talking about politics to aliens.
The first conversation we ever had was about aliens. I think I walked off on aliens because I said, man, if I stay here now, I'm going to be here for the next 2 hours.
I am a conspiracy theorist. I do believe that there's a lot out there in the world that hasn't been touched, just like the bottom of the ocean. So,
see, that's the things that we're going to be able to talk about and discuss because, again, we come from such different backgrounds. I mean, just looking at us, right? I mean, it's obvious, and I think it is extraordinarily important, even if it's just us and a few people that watch this thing, that in the context of what's going on in the United States right now over the past X number of years, this is the reason it's happening is because people aren't just talking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so even if you disagree about something wholeheartedly deep in your soul, that don't mean you can't be in the same room and then crack a beer. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you have to be able to learn to agree and disagree.
Yeah.
On certain situations. That's almost like the great debater. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, everybody get to state their case and get this and lay that point on the line. But everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has an asshole. You get what I'm saying? So it's just natural, you know.
Sure.
But that's just the human nature.
I think the key to everyone and us in particular with the show is the reason people argue is not because they disagree. The reason people argue is because they think the other person's motivation is bad, negative. I want to destroy you. I want to destroy what you believe in. And if you come at an argument thinking that you both have the same goal, which is educate yourself, move down the road, become a better person, improve the universe that you live in, then arguing is good because you might learn something out of it. I mean,
I feel arguments are based off emotions.
Okay.
And what people believe in their mind is right.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like having two people that believe one way, they're gonna feel strong on their point.
Sure.
And then the person that feels the opposite way is going to be like, they're not going to break their ground. They're going to stand strong on their point. And that's when you have
conflict.
Conflicting interests.
Okay.
More so.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying is if you can come to an honest crossroads between two people, and the honesty is, I believe that what you're saying isn't trying to hurt or destroy what I live in.
How many conversations have you had with people where it changed your perspective, or it makes you like more aware of you still might not believe what they're talking about, but you can see their argument and point. How many conversations have you had like that?
Not many.
Okay.
But the reason is because when a person stops arguing with me, it means that they've given up, or the point isn't worth continuing.
Right.
And so I enjoy it. Now the conversations that I have had that have given me pause or completely changed in my mind are significant, and I remember them.
Okay.
But it takes a lot to get me there because I think a lot about stuff.
Like we all do.
I mean, most people. But you form your own opinions based on the experiences and the things that you've seen. I have a friend of mine. We met many years ago. He's a fellow photographer. He's from Chicago. His name is Bobby Alcott. Hey, Bobby. He and I are politically, I would say, very far apart.
Right.
But I know when he tells me something from his opinion, it's coming from a place of, this is my solution to make things better. I'm coming from the same place, I just have a different solution, and those two solutions have to bang heads occasionally.
Because they're not the same idea.
Right, but if you believe that you're both headed toward the right place, then it's okay. And I think that's the problem right now, is I don't know that we're all headed in the same way, on the same road.
What problems are we facing right now in America that you feel like need to be touched on?
Oh, geez.
Just give me one. Just give me one.
One. I think politics, obviously, is the biggest thing everybody's thinking about right now because of the election and because of the wars and because of the economics and because of all of the things that were going, that come along with politics.
Right.
It has become part of our lives, and we can't get it out.
Interchangeably. Really can't get out if you
can't
want
get out.
to.
You can't. I don't know how. And that's kind of the.
When you turn when you turn to C-SPAN and you see like a former president getting indicted for like 78 charges, how did that make you feel about this, like compared to other scandals like Watergate,
right?
Like are you tired of the shenanigans in politics?
Yeah. It's like when they broke the impeachment seal.
Right.
Now everything's up for grabs, and I think it's broke.
Okay. I don't really deal with politics like that. Okay. I love politics, not really, but I know that I'm a truth person. Like I like to seek for truth. So I've been rubbed wrong by the government like twice.
All right.
Like emotionally, like maybe feel some kind of way. Like, you know what? I'm not
like straight to you personally.
No, not straight. I mean, I feel like okay. So
it affected whatever that happened. It affected you personally.
The first time was when I first voted.
Okay.
Kerry versus Bush.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Early 2000s.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, you know what I mean, and give it a shot and see if my one vote is going to make a difference in the world. And you know, what happened was, if everybody know the story, like, you know, Kerry got sideswiped by Bush, and there was a whole scandal about tickets. I mean, the ballots and the voters that in
the
Florida.
dangling chads.
They was using the old,
those punch tickets, and they were in the scandal. In fact, my parents lived in South Florida at the
Right,
time,
exactly.
in the county that it was happening.
Okay,
the whole
see?
dangling chad thing where they had to count and recount.
Well, they
count
was
and
using
recount.
dead people's.
Oh, it was
stuff,
all over the
and
place.
So that right there
Yeah.
left a sour taste in my mouth to say that they used dead people and they still won. Like, so who am I to? Is this really a democracy here that we live
Oh,
in,
no, it's
or is
not.
it really a controlled environment?
But see, it's never been a real democracy anyway.
It never.
It didn't start
Well,
that way.
Never. It never started that
So,
way
I mean,
either.
because they say
That's the whole conversation.
see,
for another
democracies don't work.
episode.
Democracies never work. And the reason so is because when the citizenry finds out that they can vote in whatever they want, they will. So you can't have a straight democracy because that's mob rule.
Okay.
So you have to have a representative.
And my second time was,
Okay, yes, go back.
My second time that I felt some kind of way was recently when Obama came in office and he bailed out the banks.
Oh.
Yes, that touched me some kind of way because I believe that stuff's supposed to, when things crumble, they fall.
Yeah.
You can't put a Band-Aid over a big old super scar.
So what would you have done if you don't bail out the banks? What
Be
happens?
honest with you,
Yeah.
my true opinion is Babylon will have to fall.
And it bounces at some point. It recovers somehow,
Hopefully,
maybe.
but
is that so bad that
but
it
how
doesn't?
how can you save a detrimental country with money that's already not in there, like debt? If we trillions in debt, where are we getting these extra trillions from to?
Oh, that's
put
just a few
band-
keystrokes on a computer
Exactly,
now.
it is. But you get this is the point
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, you know,
Yeah, inflation.
you get what I'm saying. But that's
I
what
do.
I'm trying to say. Like,
Can I go back to the Obama thing?
go ahead, take.
I want to go down that road for just a minute because that was a big deal historically, obviously,
Yeah.
right? So why did his as an African American, why did his bailing out the banks be the thing?
It didn't have anything to do with his color of his skin.
Oh no! I'm not saying the color of his skin. I'm saying
Okay. To me, how I felt.
Well, it's an actual historic event that a lot of people, not just African Americans, but all people of color, and a whole bunch of white people were waiting for it to happen at some point. It was either going to be a woman or a person of color become the president first.
Oh, something different than traditional.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, something different.
That's always been done. And so
Well, but-
why can you, like, I would assume you had some kind of loyalty to the person you voted for, right? Like everybody does.
I stopped voting after that. Like,
So you didn't vote for Obama?
No, I didn't vote for
So you didn't
Obama.
vote for nobody?
No.
Ooh, see, that's another discussion altogether. So you were just totally disenfranchise for politics so much that you just got out altogether.
I got out of it altogether. I haven't voted since then because I just feel like I'm from a Republican state, so it's going to carry over into someone that I generally wouldn't go for naturally.
Yeah.
Republicans.
Are you jumping back in on this one? On this?
Depends on if I see a candidate worthy of a real, like the last good candidate I really thought I would vote for would have been Obama, maybe Joe. I kind of like Joe and Bernie, maybe Bernie, but I like a lot of what Trump has done as well.
Yeah,
So I'm not going to
the-
sit there and just I'm not going to just like say Republicans ain't good.
Right,
It just had to be the right Republican with the right stance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm really not the one to talk about politics because I don't have the right names.
No, but you're affected by it just like everybody else, just like
Because I
I
live
am.
in
I mean,
a
I
country-
follow it. I mean, if anybody follows my Facebook page, you know that I follow it because I'm not vocal like in mean, but I feel like sometimes somebody needs to shout the headlines that nobody else is seeing or they're not paying attention to, all kinds of stuff, you know. But it's very curious to me. But
that's what we're here for. It's the ones that go
curious.
under the things that don't get talked about. That's why we're here for.
How about some stuff that does get talked about?
Like,
That TikTok video in Alabama.
all right.
You sent me that one. Like, we were tossing back and forth a couple of bailout ideas.
Right.
It's like we haven't talked about any of the ideas that we came up with before the show at this particular moment.
Right.
But I said I know about it, but I hadn't watched it.
Right,
And
right. And I sent it
I
to you
still have
'cause-
no idea what instigated it. I just saw that there was a melee on a pier.
That incident happened because there was a pontoon boat that was sitting in a place where another boat was coming in for like the chariot, like the bigger
the
boats.
paddle boat.
And and so some people there that, you know, some white people there,
They didn't want to move the
and
boat.
I really feel like they were just drunk and felt entitled that they don't have to move. And so what ended up happening was a guy ended up getting jumped on.
Yep.
And then a bunch of people retaliated in his help at the end of the day. But it's a touchy subject, but it's really
what's
not.
a touchy?
I really feel like any subject right now, and the temperature that America has always been in, is because it's a race-related country. To me, I feel like it can always start something that can really go crazy, and that's so I want to have the perspective of like this. With that, it can get real.
And it doesn't have to be about anything.
It can be, but because America has this temperature. To me, like, you know what I mean? Like, once one side...
Has that temperature gone down at any point and it's come back up now? Or has it been hot forever?
I feel like it's been down, but all it takes is one incident to make it real. To make people open their eyes, especially like a disenfranchised group that I feel like if we feel some kind of way about something and haven't been getting the respect that they deserve for all these years, and it's really touchy.
So what do you mean by getting respect all these years? I mean, what?
That don't have anything to do with that incident.
Oh no, I'm not saying it does.
But
no.
as a collective, as a whole,
although he was wearing a uniform, he was a person of obvious authority and was supposed to be there.
Right.
And so whatever happened, doesn't matter what he said,
wasn't racially motivated. That was just it wasn't racially motivated.
Not the first punch.
Not the first punch.
Right.
But everything after that was
because everybody
jumped, and you get what I'm saying.
They picked a side.
Yeah, and that's
the way it's gonna go.
And that's the way it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying?
Sucks.
Well, I mean, it's
except for the fact that I can pretty much guarantee that all the white people on the pontoon boat knew each other personally, and except for the guy who swam across.
Right.
They didn't know it. None of the other side. They probably knew each other from another
well, it was more
congregation.
So they was more so like they saw somebody getting jumped on. So like, let's go help this person. Because it could have been a white man and got punched. And I guarantee you that somebody on there would have been like, hell no, let's go help him.
Somebody would have
Especially
jumped in,
black people, because black people they're going to always come to the forefront for help.
So if a white guy gets jumped at a gas station and there's 5 black guys around,
I'll guarantee you 3 out of those 5 people going to go help that guy.
Do you think it works the other way?
Depends on the situation.
Depends on where you are?
Yeah, something more so like that.
Geography?
It depends on the core values of the people that you're with. But I know that.
How about if it's strangers at the gas station?
Listen, I'm getting to it.
It
all depends. All that boils down to the character of the person. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have 5 thugs on the corner and seeing an old lady get beat up.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 of those gonna feel like that's my grandmama or something like that, and they're gonna go try their best to go stop that if they know their life ain't in danger, or even if it is.
Race don't matter. You're just talking about people.
I'm talking about people.
Okay.
Like you have to have that that good nature. Like you're not the bully. I don't like bullies.
Oh no.
I hate bullies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's picking on someone, you know, they deserve to get their butt kicked. Straight up, you know what I mean? Like straight up, like off.
Can we bring that back?
What you mean?
Can we bring that back without getting in trouble for beating up can we get out of jail free card for beating up a bully?
Well,
if we can prove they're a bully, can we just do it?
It's funny you say all. I'm gonna rewind you to let's bring that back. I feel like that's where we're going wrong in the direction of the country, because we're moving so fast with technology that we're losing the old values of morale,
Are you
old
saying-
school values that used to keep us
Yeah.
together as a country as much as it possibly can.
Well, back
Hard work.
in that time, back in that time, we had a goal. We had at least we had a common goal because how far back you want to go? I mean, it doesn't
I don't want
matter.
to go back
But-
too far.
But the
I'm talking-
technology
I'm
thing.
only 40 years old. You
I'm
know what I mean?
53.
Okay,
I ain't got too much on you.
right.
But
we in the
the
future.
technology
as
thing
well.
is part of the problem because with your thumbs, however long we've been talking right here, would have taken 30 seconds with 15 emojis, and nothing gets shared.
right.
You know, back in the day, I've given this example to a couple of people in other conversations. The difference between cultures now and the cultures back then was. Well, that's the end of episode 1. Thanks for watching and or listening. Tune in next time when you will hear the end of Jason's example and you will hear Ty say,
Hot and fast. Let me
Yeah.
ask you one question.